Hey, yo, what's going on? Derek here, getting ready to send out a new batch of text to my Drive for Dollars list. I have been slowly increasing the amount of new outgoing texts that I'm sending out just so that I can be sure I can actually handle all of the replies and the inbound texts that come as a result of all the outbound texts that I'm sending out. So I'm just slowly increasing. I started with like 60, then I went to 75, then I upped it to 100, then I went 150. Today I'm going to send out 200 to new people, 200 new texts, new outgoing texts. And then if you watch my other SMS marketing videos, you'll know that not only do they get that new initial text on day one, in fact, they get more than just a text day one. So day one, they get a text and a ringless voicemail. Day two, they get a text and a ringless voicemail. Day three, they get two back-to-back texts. Well, it may not be back-to-back, but they're like within the hour if they don't reply. And then after that, they start to taper off and they get text every like 7 to 14 days, just to, yeah, I mean, stay in front of them, right? When you hear that, when you're not familiar with SMS marketing, you think like, why would you continue just wasting money and texting these people? But I've already been surprised at how, because I can see the reply rate at what point in the campaign, maybe not at what point in the campaign, but I can see the reply rate, and I can I generally know at what point they're replying. And some people have replied on day 3, day 5, day 7. Like some people just aren't in front of their phone ready to reply to you, and that's something that you got to be aware of as well. So just putting them through the automation, the campaign is already pre-templated, pre-set up. So all I have to do is literally drop them into the campaign, which is what I'm going to do with 200 new people today, is just move them from my list into the campaign. And then it goes on autopilot, sends them text, sends them voicemail drops. It's a 30-day campaign. So for 30 days, and then at that point, I can determine or decide whether or not I want to maybe try the second phone number that I have for them, and just run them through an exact duplicate of that first campaign, or maybe just push them straight to my dialer so that I can try to cold call them as opposed to SMS, as opposed to text them. And that's another kind of general concept is to why SMS marketing is effective, is because some people just are generally introverted. They don't feel comfortable talking big numbers over the phone with somebody they don't know about probably the biggest decision that they're going to make, right, in their lifetime. Some of these people, this is the biggest decision they're going to make, is to sell their property at possibly 5-6 figures. So some people just don't like talking on the phone, and they would rather see what you're saying through text, internalize it, maybe do a little bit of research for themselves since they're that type of analytical person. Spend time to form and to curate their response back, right? So that they don't feel like they're on the hot seat. They don't feel like they're being conned into doing something they don't want to, or sold using a bunch of sales tactics and stuff. Some people just prefer to take their time in responding and know what it is that they're saying and understand fully what it is that the other person's saying, without feeling, again, any type of pressure. So that's why it's also powerful. Not only SMS is it powerful due to the cost, way cheaper than cold calling, or well, cold calling is fairly cheap as well, um, but it's way cheaper to text. You can send out. I can send out. Let's see. I can send out about 20,000 texts per month. Um, Granted, let's say 15,000. I can send about 15,000 texts per month, plus the cost of my software that I use to text, um, for the same price as what I'm paying for my dialer, just strictly my dialer. So I can send off about 15,000 texts, and plus the $50 that is for the software, for about the same price as my dialer and what they charge me per month. So again, way cheaper to text. I can send out way more, texts and just be able to, again, that's 15,000 texts, assuming that like I'm able to actually go back and forth with a lot of people, or at least a good handful of people. 15,000 texts, maybe like 8,000, 8 to 10,000 new contact, like 8 to 10,000 people that I'm actually texting, if that makes sense, because it's going to charge me for every text I send, not just the initial one. So, assuming that I get some leads, I'm going to be going back with them a lot. So I'm going to charge actually for the inbound text as well as the outgoing text. So, for 15,000 texts, I don't know the math. I haven't been doing it long enough to really get a hold on how many people that will be, but I imagine it's probably like half, right? Um, and then I have to take into the fact all these people that aren't answering, and I'm sending them 6 messages that I'm getting charged for in the first 3 days. Again, dirt cheap. 6 texts is going to cost me like less than 2 cents. So it's worth it, right? Just to be able to blast it out, see if you can get any interest, and then again, the goal is still to get these people on the phone and close them in the way that you would on the phone, if that's something that can be done. Again, that's the goal on my end, but it's also my goal to be able to sit back and determine whether or not this person actually wants to avoid being on the phone, or what their goal is here. Uh, because some people, again, don't like to get on the phone, but some people are just replying because they're actually motivated. And if that's the case and they don't mind getting on the phone, I'm going to try to get them on the phone, because that's going to be the best way for me to close them and build rapport with them as well. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm gonna get going here. Again, I'm sorry if you're new here, you're not gonna be able to actually see what I'm doing on my computer, but I try my very best to just narrate out loud, let you know what I'm saying in these texts, what these people are replying with. I'll try to, if anybody seems interested by any means, I'll run comms quickly. I'll also narrate that as to like how I'm coming up with my price that I'm going to offer, what I feel that after repair value is, stuff like that. Just going to try my very best to narrate it out loud. If you're new here, my computer, I'm working off of my MacBook. It just doesn't have the type of processing power that like a desktop would, to be able to run streaming software. I probably could if I like completely wiped my computer and deleted every record on it, and I probably could run it a little smoother. But I tried to implement this streaming software here, and it lagged out. It wouldn't even allow me to. The amount of delay and lag that it was experiencing, it wasn't even coming in clear frames. So that's going to be like one of the first few things that I reinvest into. If you're new here, again, my name is Derek. I live in California. I'm virtually wholesaling, sourcing opportunities out in Houston, Texas. If that's a market that you're working, please feel free to reach out. I'm going to drop my email here in the chat box. I'd love to connect with you. If there's any way that I may be able to help out, or we can create some type of a mutually beneficial relationship. I have a good amount of buyers out there that I talk with. I have people reaching out pretty much daily to see if they can pick something up from me, because I've done 2 deals. I wanted to let you know that as well. Both of them virtually that I handled. I've never been to Houston. And just through networking, trying to get those deals disposition end of it, I've come across and I've made a lot of relationships with buyers. I've found that that's the best way to build credibility in your market, is put deals up, right? So I've put a couple of deals up. I also had 3 deals fall through. So just to kind of put that out there as well, my 4th and 5th contract were my 1st and 2nd deals. So I'm sitting below a 50% close rate, but I also know that there's a lot to attribute to that, like me being inexperienced, me not knowing really how to facilitate the closing after I get the contract. It was a big learning experience, and I take full responsibility as to why those first 3 contracts didn't close. I should have set more clear expectations. I shouldn't have locked some of them up as high, or at least one of them specifically. I shouldn't have locked it up as high. The other ones was more so like a rapport building thing. Like I was treating it a little bit too transactionally, and that turned off one of the sellers. And the other one, there was tenant issues, but looking back, I should have not canceled the agreement. I should have just set the closing day out further, to when their lease was up. But rather, I canceled it and they ended up selling it to somebody else. So learning experience, learning lesson, took away from that. But without further ado, I'm gonna hop right into here. I'm gonna close off some of my other tabs here so that I can start importing these contacts into the campaign. While I do that, just want to let you know as well, if you're new here, I really would appreciate a like or any type of comment. I have found, as all YouTubers say, that the engagement really does help the algorithm, and I've found that to be true. I've kind of studied my analytics now that I've put a number of videos up here. I've gone live close to like 100 times now. Um, I go live every day, Monday through Friday, or I try to at least try my very best. Document my live cold calling, my live follow ups, um, my SMS campaigns, anything. So please, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, drop a comment. If you feel that you are more experienced than me, which I'm sure a lot of people out there are, I am also extremely open to any recommendations or suggestions that you have. I I say this almost every video. By no means do I want to come across as I'm a pro and I know what I'm doing and you don't. But I do know that I have walked the path far enough to know that anybody who is looking into real estate wholesaling for the first time, I probably could, uh, spit some words of wisdom there and be able to at least kind of hold your hand through the earlier, processes and steps to get that first deal. So again, I'm not you don't want this channel to come across as educational by any means. I don't want it to be like, again, I know what I'm doing. You don't listen to what I'm saying, but rather, I just wanted to build a community and really document my process, document my journey. It's it started off that way for it to be really for myself, so that in the future I can kind of look back and be like, oh my gosh, I let that deal go because of the tenant. I locked that up that high. Why in the hell would I do that? Because I know it'll be fun in the future to kind of reflect and look back on this stuff. Uh, but yeah, and if you like that type of content, please do subscribe. Like I said, I try to go live Monday through Friday. I'm also starting to pre-record videos as opposed to just going live. Pre-record so that you actually can see my screen. So when I pre-record the videos and I release them, I can screen record. So I have a few mini series. My favorite marketing method is driving for dollars. I virtually drive for dollars. So I have a little three-part mini series on my process. It has since kind of changed and been refined. So I'm thinking about maybe doing an updated. It hasn't been much changes to it, but there haven't been many changes to it, but it's still different from what I have up there. But it's pretty much the same concept. Just driving for dollars on Google Maps. So check that out if you're interested. Another little mini series that I have is how to comp. That's something that I plan on constantly adding to when a property comes up. That's a good example. I plan on comping that and putting that into that playlist. Um, and yeah, if you have any recommendations on content you'd like to see, please feel free. Give me a comment. I get notified anytime somebody comments on any one of my videos. And I am taking all suggestions and recommendations for content. So let me know what you're trying to see. And again, subscribe and hit the notification bell. I would love to have you in here with us when I go live. And hit that bell so that you know when I go live. I'd love to talk with you, chat with you, figure out if you're wholesaling or if you're just interested in it. I have a few subscribers here that are getting ready to hop into it and take a deep dive into actually pulling a list, start calling, doing all that type of stuff. So love to have you join the community, and love to be able to chat with you while I'm live here. So just queued up 200 contacts, gonna get ready to send them over to my campaign, but I'm going to go use the restroom real quick. I'll be back in 1 minute. happy belated Halloween too. I didn't even mention that. Um, Hope you guys had a good time. Hope everybody stayed safe. Got some candy if that's what you're into. Partied hard if that's what you're into. But I remembered because I went to the bathroom, looked myself in the mirror, forgot I was wearing this headband. Although I'm looking at myself on the screen here, but this was part of my costume. If you guys know Rocket Power, the cartoon back in the day, used to be popular. I thought it was popular, but I guess a lot of people didn't watch it. I used to watch it religiously, but I was Auto Rocket. If you look up Google Auto Rocket, you'll see that he wears a green headband. But and my girl was Reggie, his sister in the show, which is a little weird, but don't look too much into it. All right, here we go. If you're watching this and you've made it this far, let me know what you did for Halloween and if you dressed up. If you did dress up, let me know what your costume was. I'd be interested to know if it was real estate related. All right, 200. I'm adding it to a general 30-day campaign, phone 1. That's the name of this campaign here for me. And I name it phone 1 because I have exact duplicates to that same campaign for phone 2 and phone 3. So what will happen is I made the mistake of not cleaning my list before I imported it here. And that's a mistake that I will not make in the future. But I imported these contacts with landlines as well. So what happens is if that first phone number kicks back an error because it's a landline and not a mobile phone number, as in it can't receive text messages, it'll kick me back an error. And then what I can do is tag it to let the system know that I want the second phone number to be replaced. So my tag is replaced number 2. So I'll tag it replace number 2 once I see it kicks back an error. And then it will replace the first phone number with the second phone number. And then it will move that person into the general 30-day campaign phone 2, which again is just an exact duplicate. That way they're getting that first message all the same. Same things. I've updated it with 3 phone numbers. So same thing if it happens for phone number 2. So that's really why there's like a lot of manual labor involved right now for myself. But once I import it with mobile only numbers, a few things that I expect. One, it's going to be a whole lot less of what I'm doing now and making sure that I'm actually sending it to mobiles. Because right now I have to go through every single text to make sure that I'm not wasting money on these follow-ups, because they'll still get texted. They'll still try to drop them a voicemail, but it won't go through and it will charge me. So I have to go through and make sure that I'm at least sending these to mobile numbers. But in the future, I won't have to do that. So I can spend a lot more time in the actual conversations with people replying to me as opposed to just cleaning house. And then 2, I will expect a whole lot more replies that have to come in. So I'm going to have to be careful because right now I'm sending off 200 texts, but half of them may be landlines, right? And I don't have a true feel or understanding for the amount of people that are going to reply. So I have about a 25% reply rate on this first campaign, this general 30-day campaign. So if I send off 200, I can imagine that 50 people are going to reply, which I think is more than, I don't know. Or I can expect that reply rate to go significant way up. That's what it really is going to be, because I think like 30% is low. So I've heard people get up to 60% reply rate. So if I can imagine about half of the people are going to reply on 200 texts, then I'm going to be getting a whole lot more inbound than I am or than I'm used to right now. Enter a description for the action. Oh, I'm going to add in drip mode. Enter description 200 contact import into general 30-day campaign phone 1. This is just a little label for myself so that I can see it if I ever were to go like look for it in the bulk actions. Start on today. It's 1:41 my time, which means it's 3:41 their time, and my system is set up to be on their time. So I'm going to start this at 3:45 in 4 minutes from now, just so I can leave myself a good enough time. Batch quantity. So this is where you got to do a little math. So I want to send off 200, and I'd like for all of them to get sent off within that first hour. I just don't want to have to be waiting for them to get sent off. I'd rather send as many off as possible that I'm able to handle as quickly as possible so that I can just refocus on actually replying and having conversations. Because if they're dripped slowly and it takes like 2 hours, 3 hours for that initial text to be sent to somebody, then I not only am gonna try to juggle all these conversations that I'm having with those first few people that got the text, but now I'm having to filter through all those other people who are getting that first text way later that are saying, not interested, stop, quit. And you'll understand what I'm saying, I guess, if I just do the math for you right now. So batch quantity, what I'm gonna do is 4, so not 200, but 4, and I'm going to repeat after 1 minute. So what that is telling the system is that I want 4 new texts sent off to 4 new people every 1 minute. So that's going to take 50 minutes to get through 200. And I'm going to say send on Monday through Thursday, start from, and then it gives you the option. It's optional to give you like a start window and start and end window, which I like to do just in case I messed up on my math. So again, we're going to start at 3:45. So I'll give the window. It's in 30-minute increments. I'm going to say start, from 3:30, end at, like I said, it's going to take 50 minutes. I'm starting at 3:45. So I will end at, um, 5 p.m. just in case. So that leaves me an hour and 15 to get those 50 sent off. Because it will kind of slow down once it starts dropping that voicemail. And I'll explain what I mean in a second. So got that lined up. Drip mode, 200 contacts, start in 2 minutes from now. Batch quantity 4 every 1 minute, which will take 50 minutes to get through 200. And I gave them the window just in case, because I do want it to get cut off at a certain time, right? Even if it's unable to get through those 50, or those 200 rather, in the first 50 minutes, I gave it an extra 10 minutes or 15 minutes just in case. But at one point, I don't want to be sitting in front of my computer handling this stuff all night. So I think that's good. I'm going to add to campaign. Boom, your bulk action has been scheduled. Click here to check the progress. I'm going to click there. And now I see it's queued up. 200 contacts added to that campaign. I can pause that. I can cancel it just in case it may become a little too overwhelming. But that is queued up. Now I'm going to come over to my conversations, make sure that everything is already kind of taken care of for today so that I'm not just piling onto stuff that I haven't taken care of yet. And it looks like it is. So now I'm just going to wait the minute. While that minute is tolling, I'll kind of let you know, I'll read off what my initial texts are. So I'm going to start the text with, hi, first name. Have you given any thought to parting ways with address? Can we talk about it? And I guess I feel the need to say this. If you do use SMS marketing or plan on it, please switch up the scripts a little bit, not just for my sake, but for the community's sake. What's happening is wholesalers, investors are just using the same exact scripts from their friends, from their coaches, from their mentors, and the phone carriers are picking up on it. So not only are they flagging messages that say like, sorry, this is out of the blue. Like there are phrases that you can't use because the phone carriers like AT&T and Verizon, they're picking up on that and they're automatically marking your phone number as spam if you use these kind of negative keywords that they're looking out for. So not only that, but now they're taking it a step further and they are trying to identify like full messages to see if there's any similarities between other people who are sending off hundreds of texts a day. Oh yeah, look, these group of 50 people are all saying the same exact thing, character for character. Let's just flag this whole script, and that's what they're doing. So again, I don't say that just for myself and my own benefit, but the communities as a whole. So I'm going to read these to you to let you know what I'm doing. But if you are doing this or plan to implement this into your business, please switch up the scripts a little bit to make it your own words. So that first message again, hi, first name, have you given any thought to parting ways with address? Can we talk about it? And if they don't answer to that, 3 minutes later, they get this ringless voicemail.
Hey, I just texted you about a property I believe you own. My partner and myself, we're local home buyers. We got some cash on hand, and we're looking to pick up one, maybe two more properties in that area there. I just wanted to give you a shout to see if you'd ever consider selling.
Boom. They don't answer to that. Then 25 hours later, pretty much the next day, they get, hey, first name, I reached out yesterday about address. Are you free to talk today? If they don't reply to that in an hour, they get another ringless voicemail. 23 hours later, again, day three, hey there, just following up on the text I sent. Did you have a number in mind that you'd be hoping to get for address? Kind of throwing it out there to see if they are reading my text, and then just giving them an opportunity to throw out a high number if they're, like there's no motivation really. Um, and then 1 minute later, just in case I didn't mention this, any conditions okay with us? We could pay all the closing costs, and you wouldn't have to pay any fees. Then again, they start getting tapered off like 7 days later, 15 days later, 5 days later, up until that 30th. So that's what campaign's looking like. You pop over to messages, and they're already starting to be sent off by the fours. So first one got back unsuccessful. That landline. So I'm going to tag it replace number two. Again, that's going to replace it with the second phone number in line, and then it's going to add it to the uh, the the phone number. It's just an exact duplicate, and rather it's just going to send it to that second phone number as opposed to the first. So I'm doing that for everybody, and that's kind of why, again, I have to, because if I don't pick up on these, they're just going to continue getting the automated text, automated ringless voicemails to that same landline, and I'm just burning my money. So I have to do this now. I could have just like re-imported my list, but it was only like 1,000. So I'll be through. If I'm sending off 400 a week, I've already sent off like close to 400. So I should be kind of coming to the end of it towards the end of this week, if not the beginning of next week, and then I can just get a new list in there that's mobile only. That's my plan. All right, first response, that's not my house. Contact the owner. That's an interesting response. I almost want to text this person and ask like if they know the owner. That's not my house. Contact the owner. I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm gonna mark it wrong number, which will delete the number, replace it with the second phone number like the other tag does, and then start the campaign again under that new tag. The way he responded, it kind of makes me feel like he does know the owner, but I kind of don't want to waste my time. I would have to dig pretty deep and like convince him to give me the contact information and stuff. All right, so that's actually the only number. So that's cool. It's just gonna go into the wrong number bucket. Yes, I will accept no less than 1 billion US dollars. Let me know. Not interested. Not going to waste my time replying. Not going to spend money replying. Market is red. Not interested. On to the next. It hasn't been adding it to the not interested pipeline stage for me though. When I do that, I've been having to come in here and do that. Okay, there it goes. It did it. Maybe I'm just impatient. Maybe it takes a second. Market is red, not interested. Boom, on to the next. Again, just going through these, making sure that I'm not texting any landlines, which this one is, replacing it with the next phone number in line if it is a landline. That's pretty much all I'm going to do for now until these responses start coming back in. And you can see, I mean, it's been literally 5 minutes and I've already gotten a couple responses. Granted, they're they're not favorable, but the quicker you can get through those no's, the quicker you get to that next yes. So I'm fine with people sending back 1 billion US dollars, whatever they want to say. I don't really care. Uh, to me, it just means no. You know what I mean? And that's also why I like texting, which is why a lot of people do like texting as well, is that you're able to take the emotions out of it. It's a lot more yes or no. You know what I mean? Like, do you want to sell? Yes or no? Yes, we can talk about it. No, I don't want to sell. Boom, on to the next, right? All those emotions get taken out of it. Whereas, like, when you're cold calling, you're having to deal with those emotions from the seller while you're on the phone with them. Um, and you really don't have a choice, right? You can hang up on them if you really wanted to, but you know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. That's why people tend to gravitate towards texting, but I am trying to do my very best to be intentional about why it is I am texting and know that I am not wanting to not cold call. So I make a point to set days aside. Mondays and Tuesdays are going to be my texting days, sending out these new contacts because the contacts are going to be put on an initial 3-day drip where they get texted and voicemail drops on the first 3 days. So if I send out the initial ones on Monday and Tuesday, the latest new message that gets sent out is going to be Thursday, which is day 3 for the people who got sent text on Tuesday initially. So again, I've dedicated Mondays and Tuesdays to just sending out those initial texts to a bulk amount of new people. And then I'm dedicating Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays to the dialer to hop on to cold call. Even I might even do that on Tuesdays as well if I'm able to kind of get a grasp on what I did through texting on Monday. Hopefully that makes sense. Just trying to figure out how to best organize my week to make it as efficient as possible and make sure that nothing's slipping through the cracks either. That's going to be kind of the biggest thing, um, especially with the text because it's on a drip, so it's just automated. So like the other day, I was out driving around and I started getting texts like "not interested," "not my property," "not at this time," "not right now," and then I actually got a lead from that while I again was out driving my car. I wasn't even in front of my computer. It's just happening in the background automatically. So um, I want to make sure that I'm not just overloading the system with new people and not have the ability to actually pre-qualify or dive a little deeper on the ones that are leads, if that makes sense. So that's pretty much what I've been doing is trying to just find the happy medium, the just right area where I can send off a good amount of text every week and still have the kind of bandwidth to handle the replies to the people who are interested, as well as not take away from my cold calling. That's my real goal through all this. See, like, all right, 4 per minute is probably a little bit too much for me when I'm having to go through every single text here because I can't keep up, and I'm going pretty quick too, and my computer is not lagging. But I'm only like a minute behind. I'm at the text that got sent out at 1:54, and it's 1:55 right now. So that's pretty much what I have to do is just play catch up um, on these initial. So if all 3 of them kick back errors, I tag it all errors, and then I have triggers in the background for when it's tagged as all errors. It's going to automatically tag it as cold call. And once it gets tagged as cold call, it gets moved to the pipeline stage cold call or push a cold call campaign. And then I have the intention on when that list builds up to like 100 or so, I'll just go in periodically and pull those those properties and push them through to my cold call campaign so that I can hit them on the dialer, since again they all kick back as errors. There's no point in me continuing to text them. But there is still an opportunity to contact them and see if they're interested in selling by calling them. So I don't want to just, again, avoid getting on the phone. I'm trying to hit all these people from multiple angles. And they also have an app. I'm intentionally not sharing the software that I use because I got it through my coaching program and it was an exclusive kind of offer. And he has asked that we don't go sharing it because it's a really good deal. And um, again, just trying to avoid a bunch of unethical people hopping on, stealing the scripts, doing the exact same thing that I'm doing because it's going to ruin it for the rest of the community. Um, so I'm intentionally not sharing the. All right. Okay. So this person said wrong number, stop. So the word stop in my system triggers to be added to DNC list, adds the tag DNC, but it's the wrong number. I know this is the wrong number. So what I'm going to do is delete the tag, um, take it off of the DND, delete this DNC opportunity in my pipeline stage. I just saw the next text from the next person. Then what I'm going to do is delete this opportunity. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go into this contact specifically if it allows me to. And okay, so this is why I need to take note of this. So what happens is she said wrong number and it automatically replaced it with the second phone number and put her into that second phone number campaign. But then she said stop. So she got added to the DNC. She got removed from that second phone number campaign. And there's no way for me to put her back into that second phone number campaign. So what I'm going to do is just jump straight to number 3. I'm going to add the tag, replace number 3. And then that's going to put her into that third campaign. So that's that. Again, just trying to get a hold of it so that these people aren't just slipping through the cracks if there is opportunities to be capitalized on. This person says, for the love of God, stop, which is really weird because I did not text this phone number. It's just a text from them. So maybe they texted me off of like their work phone or their personal phone when I texted the other one. I mean, I don't know, but I can't take them off the list if they're texting me from a phone number. So now just going through again, making sure that I'm not wasting money by sending texts or voicemails to landlines. This person says, fuck no, which is something that I need to add into my triggers when some people say like curse words. Like anytime somebody says the F word right out of the gates, I can probably imagine that it's not being followed up with like yes. Like people aren't going to say, fuck yes, we can talk about it, like. So I need to add that as a trigger, just like if somebody says stop or quit, end, unsubscribe, all those are kind of triggers to just put them on the DNC list. So should some of these words. And that's something that I need to do. So this is something else that I've been doing is just kind of taking notes as I go through it so that I can refine my process and, optimize my time. like 4 minutes behind now. My main goal is to try to just be like shortly behind the messages that are going out, because if I don't catch it and replace the phone number, if it's a landline or just a bad phone number, then it will try to send them a ringless voicemail 3 minutes later. So try to be at least less than 3 minutes behind so that I'm not wasting money on a ringless voicemail unnecessarily. Which is what's happening here because I'm about 4 minutes behind. Oh. All right, nothing too eventful. Starting to slow down a little bit because I'm just sending off so many. At first, I'm able to just click through these conversations like with the quickness and be able to kind of replace the number if I have to, just do what I have to do. But once all these new ones start getting sent out, then start slowing down a little bit. It's actually slowed down a lot a bit here, so I might refresh the screen. I don't have any other tabs to close. It's just YouTube and this. So I'm gonna refresh. I'm at Peter at 158, which was sent off like 5 minutes ago. Yeah, it's going really slow. Peter at 158. Here we go. Peter. Yeah. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, thank you. Please stop asking. Okay. She said stop. Again, that word triggers to add to DNC, which I'm fine with. I was going to move them to just the not interested pipeline stage as opposed to the DNC, but she asked politely. So I'm fine with her just being removed completely. It's like something that I had to get over too. It's something that I had to really overcome is just trusting that all of my automation is set up the way that I want it to in the back end so that I can just simply add a tag to the property and move on. Uh, But like when I first started, I had to like watch it do what I wanted it to do, which was again automatically update it with the next phone number. automatically put them into that second campaign, um, and then like tag them accordingly. And I was like a little nervous to just allow the system and trust that the system was going to do everything that I wanted it to, which is also why I really eased my way into this, is because I wanted to be sure. Because there were mistakes that were made on my end, and it wasn't doing everything that I expected it to do, and I think that's also to be expected. So, but now I feel pretty confident. I just kind of like add the tag to it, and I'm under the assumption that it is doing all of the automation that I want it to, and as I intended for it to happen. All right, so I'm about 2 minutes behind the new texts that are getting sent out. Something else too, they recommend uh, not, what is it? Not exceeding 200 new texts per phone number per day. I, acting out of fear, and I think I'm going to reduce that to 100. So I have two phone numbers right now that I'm texting off of, and it just kind of round robins and sends off half through one phone number and half through the other. Um, so I think that right now I'm going to max out at 200 new texts per day with these two phone numbers. So if I want to increase beyond that, I think I'm going to go pick up another phone number, which is just like a couple bucks, I think. Worth it. But I think it's going to be worth it to just have more numbers than I truly need, just in case, because what will happen is one of these phone numbers is going to get flagged as spam. Well, knock on wood that it doesn't, but it could. And then let's say that somebody who was texted from that phone number ends up, their circumstances change and they want to reach back out to me. Oh, that guy Derek texted me a month ago. Let me go find that text and let him know that I'm ready to sell. He'll text back, and then I won't have that number anymore because it was flagged. And I guess I could keep it, but I would just specifically holding on to the number in hopes that somebody would reach back out, like in the manner that I just said. But I would be paying for just that because I wouldn't be using it to send text out. That makes sense. So it's kind of just be a waste of money at that point. But all right, this person says, yes, we are parting ways soon. It's pretty favorable. I might try to get on the phone with him and have a conversation, which would be cool to document here. I'm gonna leave it though for now and make sure and say that I've been making sure that I'm wasting money by sending the landlines. I'm gonna try my very best to catch up, although it is going quick. For that guy, I'm either going to try to pivot to just get him on the phone right now, or maybe try to pre-qualify him, get like one pre-qualifying question out of the way, like on the condition. Maybe pull it up on Zillow to see if it looks physically distressed, or maybe an opportunity for me. Because I mean, I'll be able to tell just right out of the gate if it's going to be um, something that I'll be able to work with, just based on how it looks on Zillow. The area that it's in, the amount of beds, baths, the size of the property, stuff like that. If it's way out in the boonies, I'm not going to bother. You know what I mean? But there you go. I mean, that may be a lead right here, depending on how the rest of this conversation goes. I asked, have you given any thought to parting ways with the property? And he says, yes, we are parting ways soon. So now I'll try to figure out, again, try to start pre qualifying a little bit. System's starting to slow down a bit again. Trying to keep up. Okay, then I'm getting text back too. The person said 150,000. Shoot, might be doable. You know what I mean? 150 doesn't sound too unreasonable. This person said, hello, I've accepted a cash offer. Probably, I can only see the preview. Probably saying I have a cash offer if you're trying to beat it. So here we go. I'm picking up some steam here. So this is what I'll do, and this is what I've been doing too. I've just been making note so that I can go reply to some of these. I'll just make note of like where I left off, like on my messages, so that I can go back and do what I'm doing right now. Not for sale. Please remove my number. Thank you. I'm going to send them a text because they were nice about it. I'm going to send a template, which is a template that I built out, just a response, quick response, essentially, quick reply, which is it's labeled not interested referral. And it says, completely understand. We're actively buying in city, which is their city. So if you happen to know anybody looking to sell, we offer a $500 referral fee. Take care. Send that over. Mark them as not interested so they don't get any more texts. And then on to the next. I don't say that to everybody, only if they're like polite about it. Muhammad says no, stop. It should pick up on that, the system, with that word stop, which it did. Going pretty slow again here, so I'm going to refresh the page. 211 Barbara is where I'm at. 211 Barbara. Randy says nope. I'm just going to mark him not interested. See, like somebody like that, I'm not going to waste the money to give him that referral text. In the future, I would, but right now, I'm going to have to be conservative about my spending. Nope. Mark it red as well, so I don't have to deal with that later. This is not Arturo. Mark a wrong number, which will replace the phone numbers. That one should be marked as red as well. Oops. And then replaced. You replaced Mary. All errors. Marcellus. Marcus says stop. Shot picked up by the system. Added to DNC. Removed him from the campaign. Sorry, I got the man driving right by my window here. 1 million cash, no less. Now, I do have a campaign if they're asking for retail. It's a realtor referral campaign, but somebody like this, I'm gonna not waste my time. Mark them as not interested. Matthew Watts. Hell. My really good friend's name. I saw that and I thought maybe I accidentally put him on the list for some reason, but it doesn't look like it's him. Damn, at least that's not annoying. If it were, I don't want to watch. So I'm getting a lot more replies than I'm used to. I'm getting notified on my phone. I don't know if I mentioned that just now, but they have an app as well, so I can see when people are replying. Because when I'm doing what I'm doing, I can't. Um, and that way, if I'm out and about and somebody comes through again, if I'm not right in front of my computer when they reply to some type of automated drip, then I can be right there on the phone and do it. Making good headway here. For you 218. And what I also have is an IVR setup, interactive voice response, or commonly referred to as a call tree. So if I didn't have that set up, I'd have a bunch of people calling me back saying, no, take me off your list. Primarily because I'm sending them a ringless voicemail. So it appears as if they just missed a call from me. So people will call back just to say like, hey, I missed a call. Or no, take me off your list. I saw your text. I listened to your voicemail. I'm not interested. Take me off your list, which is going to be like 9 out of 10 people, maybe even more. So as a way to avoid that, I have set up a IVR or a call tree, which will have them, if they call back, it'll say press 1 to leave a voicemail with your name, number, and address so that somebody can be in contact with you to get you a cash offer for your house. If you're not interested in receiving a cash offer, press 2. That way I can just easily filter through those without having to actually get on the phone with a bunch of people just for them to tell me to take them off my list. I will likely lose out on opportunity, but with my intentions on how I'm handling this, I intend to really scale this and utilize this at scale. So the kind of few opportunities that I may lose out on will be offset with the amount of people I'm able to reach through texting like this. Because obviously the best thing is going to be to get on the phone live with somebody if they're going to call back and actually be interested. because then if you don't answer, they're just going to go ahead and call the next person or whatever the case may be, you know. So obviously, it's better to answer the phone live as opposed to have this IVR. But it's just kind of a choice that I made while I'm still familiarizing myself with this. Maybe later down the road, I get rid of the IVR and I start answering the calls live. I don't know. Just kind of playing around with it. And I found that by doing that, it just allows me to focus a little bit more on the text as opposed to having to juggle, the text, the inbound text, the phone calls, the voicemails, all that. So I've opted to just set up a IVR. 2 minutes behind seems to be the theme here. All right, now I'm only 1 minute behind. And I've figured out now why it starts to slow down is because as new texts get sent out, the old texts are still there. So it has to load all of the conversations that are on the screen. So if I refresh the screen, it will drop those older texts into like the load more messages, if that makes sense. Um, I'm not going to do a good job of explaining that. Maybe it did make sense, but if I refresh the screen, then it will bring it back to like the 50 messages that it typically shows you on the screen before you click the load more messages to show more. All right, making pretty good headway here on just, again, the management of it all. 1 minute behind the new text. Hopefully I can just blow through these right here. So far, I've had about 11 responses since I've started this. Granted, a lot of them are stop, not interested, but a couple of them, it seems like I'll be able to actually have a conversation about it. And I'm about 40 minutes in, so it should be sending off new messages for about another 10 minutes. But again, I set it up where the end of the the new text being sent out should stop in about 30 minutes, just in case it does go over and I didn't do my math right, or in case there's some type of nuances to the system and the software that I'm not familiar with that will have it exceed that math that I did to begin with. All right, rainbow load 224. All right, let me hop over to the replies to try to respond to some of these people. All right, unread. Yes, we are parting ways soon. I'm going to say, great, I'd love to learn a bit about the property. When are you free to talk? I'm going to tag him as attention, move him from the replied pipeline stage to the attention pipeline stage so that I don't miss out on a conversation with him. Because once I send this, it's going to mark it as unread, which it just did. Now I just want to make sure again that I don't lose out on the opportunity of speaking with him. Um, Gracie said, "Sure, thanks." Oh, that was a reply to saying we are actively buying in Houston. So if you happen to know anybody looking to sell, we offer a $500 referral fee. Take care. She said, "Sure, thanks." Um, so I can just go ahead and mark this as red. She's already marked as not interested. 150,000 says Janice Collins. Let me go ahead and pull up her property on Zillow, see what the Zestimate is. She says 150. The Zestimate would probably have to be like 200 plus for me to like really think this is an opportunity. Now the Zestimate's 160, 161. Um, Assuming ARV is probably like 185. I still think she's off a rocker with 150. Um, I'll come back to this one. Patricia said, "Hello, I've accepted a cash offer from Swift Homes in the amount of 262,000. I'm gonna go ahead and pull her up on Zillow, see what her Zestimate is. Her Zestimate, she doesn't have a Zestimate. It's just a rent Zestimate. I've never seen that before actually, but she's talking 262. This is a really fat house. I'm gonna pull this up on PropStream to see what it tells me, but this is probably not one that really should be wholesaled either. It looks like it was recently renovated. There's one picture up on Zillow, and it was listed for sale at 210,000 back in 2018. Let's see, like if I can get a little bit more history in PropStream to get a bigger picture here. So I'm going to search this address on PropStream. If it loads, there we go. This one's out in Spring. Pull this up. The estimated value on PropStream is 250. Zeesh. MLS details 2018. It failed. They listed for 210. They own one other property too in Killeen. Yeah, new, beautiful, new laminate flooring, French door, kitchen's awesome, wood ceiling, beautiful stainless appliances, granite, huge backyard. Types of new. Uh, I'm just gonna say hello. I got the cash offer from Swift Homes in the amount of 262,000. I'm gonna say congratulations. That's awesome. If you happen to know anybody in the area that is interested in selling, we do offer a $500 referral fee. Anybody else in the area that is interested in selling, we do offer a $500 referral fee. Send that off. That's not going to be one that I'm going to entertain. I think she kind of threw that out there that, oh, I have a 262,000. She wanted me to beat it, right? This guy said stop. I don't know why it's in my unread. I'm going to say tag this one with already sold. Nikki. Not Nikki, wrong number. These are getting added to my red. It's for sale now. So this is the guy who said, yes, we are parting ways soon. I said, great, I'd love to learn a bit about the property. When are you free to talk? He says, it's for sale now. So I'm going to pull this up on Zillow to see if maybe it's listed on market is what I'm gathering from what he just said. It's not listed on market. at least not on Zillow. Let me pull it up on PropStream again, see if I can get just a better understanding of the property. He's clearly not wanting to get on the phone. So this is exactly a perfect example. I'm asking when he's free to talk, and he says it's for sale now. Maybe he misunderstood me. Maybe I need to be more clear about what I'm meaning when I say talk. I mean, like, let's get on the phone. This is a absentee owned property. He has two properties. One he lives in, one he is selling. This one here. I don't see that it's listed. I think he just means it's for sale now. So I'm gonna say, great. Could you tell me? What do I usually say? I'm gonna say, great. Could you tell me a little about the condition? Any major or minor repairs needed? Question mark. Roof. Kitchen. Windows, etc. Question mark. See if he replies to that. Stop. Sorry, but not for sale. I'll send her that referral text because she was nice about it and said sorry. So I'll say completely understand. We're actively buying in Houston. So if you happen to know anybody looking to sell, we offer a $500 referral fee. Parker is not interested. Oops. Here, just stop. Lori says, not for sale. And Rita says, be professional. Stop texting me. Okay. Janice says 150. What did I say? Oh, yeah, her ARV was like, or her estimate was like 160. So let me pull her into PropStream and quickly comp it, see if it's something that I may be able to work with. PropStream. Run real quick comps on it. Nothing too crazy. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, about 1,660 square feet, about a 7,800 square foot lot, built in 1970. Doesn't look like there's a pool or anything like that. It does have a garage. One-story house. All right, so I'm gonna go 1,660 square feet. I'm gonna drop it to 1,400 as the minimum and 1,900 as the maximum. Residential, single family. So we're comparing apples to apples. 1960 minimum year built, which is 10 years older, and 1980 max, which is 10 years newer. Go back a year, see if I get anything in the area. I have 4 comp pop area, one that's right down the street. But that one was listed for rent. So I'm going to take a look at number 2. This one sold for $177,000. It sat on the market for 108 days though. That one's the exact same beds, bath. Ours is about 100 square feet bigger. So if this one sold for 177, I think ours could sell for 178. Same year built, but their lot is a bit bigger, but it's still something where I would use it as a comp. So I'd call it like, what I say, 180. So I'd call it like 190. Write that down. 190. These other ones, number 3, these are just a little bit further out, less than a half mile, 0.4 of a mile. This one's a 3, 1.5. So ours has an extra half bath. This one sold for 195 a month and a half ago. I think could for 200. Ours also has about 160 extra square feet. So let's say ours could sell for 210. And let the lot square footage uh, and the year built kind of offset because theirs is 8 years older, but they have a bigger lot. So what did I just say? 200, probably like 210. And then this last one's 172 with an extra bed. So ours gets sell for 162. It has about 100 extra square feet. So ours gets sell for 152. Same size lot, 10 years older. So I'll take that into consideration. That one is the furthest out though and kind of crosses a semi-major road. So what did I say? 172, 162, 152, 152. But that one was also sold a year ago. So I kind of have to, you got to consider that as well. The appreciation that the market's been seeing. So I'll take just the average of the first two, which puts me at a 200K ARV. On a 200K ARV, I multiply that by 0.92, gives me 184. I subtract 40,000, which will account for both my wholesale fee, my assignment fee, and the cash buyer's profit. That drops me down to 144, which is already below her 150 asking price. So I need to be at let's call it 145, less repairs. So, right, what I say, 200. Could be higher, probably. 200. Oh, no, I couldn't. That would be exactly where I need to be. I may be able to go like 150, 145 to 150, less repairs. It's 1,700 square feet, just about. So let's see. I have a little cheat sheet for myself on like estimate repair costs. So let's just say it's minor repairs, very cosmetic, just carpet and paint. I would still need to be at like 130 max. But then if it's anything more than that, like if the bathrooms and kitchen need to be replaced as well, then I would be at like 110. So she may be just throwing it out there. She said 150,000. I'll say, okay. Could you tell me a bit about the condition of the property? Any major or minor repairs needed? Roof, kitchen. She have multiple bathrooms. Yeah, bathrooms, etc. See what Janice says. Jay Douglas says stop. Yolanda says stop. Frederick says not through text. That's what I was asking. So that's funny. Mr. Press says, I'm with a client right now. I will call you in a few minutes. Thank you. I'll put that to attention because when they call, it's going to go through that bring us voicemail. This guy says not through text. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. To make sure that I'm all caught up on these new texts that have been going out because I have a lot of catching up to do in that regard. So I'll spend the next 5-10 minutes trying to catch up. I think the new texts have stopped going out, which will allow me this time to catch up. Nope, they're definitely still getting sent out. Enough! Down! Stop, man. It's not for sale. Well, sorry, this is not Irene. Catching up here, and then I'm going to round back to those people who responded kind of favorably and try to get them on the phone. All right, perfect. All caught up. He says not through text. I'm gonna say, would it be all right if I gave you a ring right now? First, I'm going to quickly comp his property so that I can know what I'm talking about when I get on the phone with him. I know a lot of people wouldn't recommend this. Oh yeah, this is this one. It's a little weird. It's in an area where I'm not very familiar with, but I think it's close enough to the inner city where cash buyers would be interested. I'm just zooming out. Yeah, I think it's close enough. I think I would probably have to get a little bit of price reduction for the location. It's not something that I would ask for the seller, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, I don't buy in this location. If you want me to buy it, I got to buy it at this price because it's too far out of the city. I mean, I guess I could, but it's more so for my own personal, knowledge. So let's see, 2,200 square foot place. It's a little bigger. I'm going to pull it down to like 1950 and like 2450. Just go like 250 square feet in each direction. Residential, single family. Year built was 1979. I'll go minimum 1970, maximum 1990. Show me the ones in the last year. 52 properties have been sold here that meet that criteria. Holy cow. So what I'm going to do now, when there's much activity, I'm going to bring in just the 6 months and not the past year. And there's still 30. So then I'm going to drop it down to a quarter mile and not a half mile. And that drops it down to 11. And now I'm going to, they pretty much all are in the same exact subdivision. I'm going to filter it now by the subdivision as well, which drops it down to 10. So that's perfect. Only one I don't want to, 1, 3, 4, 5. These are exact subdivision. This is crazy amount of activity. So now I'm going to sort it by the most recently sold, which was October 1st, exactly a month ago. That one sold for $189. That one has an extra half bath, so ours could sell for probably $184. Same exact square feet, just a substantially smaller lot. Same year built too. So ours could probably go for $200. I think this one sold for $295. It's a little down the ways, but this had an extra half bath. Ours could sell for $290. They have 200 extra square feet, so ours could sell for 270, and about the same size lot. It's actually smaller, and then 2 years newer. So what did I say? 270. That leads me to believe that this other one that went for 189 was sold as is. Because I can see pictures of this one that went for 295, and it was a new. Let's see some other up near that price point. 240. Ours has an extra bed. Ours gets over 250. Ours has an extra little bit square footage. I'm not gonna make a difference about it. 250. Same square foot lot, same year built. So I do 250. I'm gonna get rid of that 200,000 one now because it's irrelevant. I have one uh, ARV at either 270 or 250. I have another one that went. Oh no! Damn it! I accidentally clicked out of it. I have another one that went 286 with an extra half bath. So ours could probably sell for 280, give or take. Um, all right. Uh, 286. Ours can sell for 280. They have an extra 180 square feet. Call it just 260 to be conservative, which is, I think, what the ARV is, 260. So I'll call it ARV 260, which is the exact estimated value on PropStream. Did it say what his estimate was? Oh, this is the one that didn't say his estimate, maybe? Um, this one said its estimate of 270, actually. So um, it may be able to push a little bit higher than that. This one went for 295. 290, 270. Ours is a little bit bigger of a lot. No, I think it's about 270 is right on the money, tops. Um, and that's what this estimate says too. So I'll call it 270 to be, well, when I run my formula, I'll say 260. So 260, I'll say 0.82 to take 10% for profit minus 25 profit for me on this big one. I'll say 20. 93 less repairs, I think, is what I need to be looking at. 93 less repairs. This is a 2,200 square foot property, so I'm going to be looking at least a $20,000 renovation, even if it is light, 40 average, 80 heavy. So 193, I'm going to be looking at, 170, anywhere from, anywhere from like 110 to 173. So like 110 if light reno, 153 if average, 173 if heavy. Go ahead and reply to him asking if now's a good time. He says not through text. Sure. Are you available to speak now? If I give you a ring, give you a call. It is already sold, says Roger. Let's see if I have a template on that. Already sold. I said, oh, okay. Would you happen to have any other property you'd be interested in receiving a cash offer for? go ahead, tag him as already sold, just in case he doesn't reply to that. This person says 330,000 or leave us alone. Let's see what their estimate is. Their estimate is 244. Not going to waste my time. Go back to them, mark them, tag them as not interested. If it was like a little bit closer down to earth, I may have tried to kick a realtor referral her way, but that's just absurd. Even if the comps are going for way higher, it would be over ARV, so not even worth it. Roger says no, he doesn't have any other properties. Let me mark that as red. Frederick, I have at attention, seeing if he's available to talk right now. 330, not interested. Margarita, not interested. This person says I'm with a client right now. I will call you in a few minutes. I want to make sure that I give them a call, actually. And I'm going to end it there because I got to hop on a meeting right now. Hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate you tapping in. Until the next one.